Gather around, PureSkill family. This your boy Sharif, and I'm back at it with another video. All right, let's get into it. Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do figure drawing. If you guys seen my previous video on drawing figures in perspective, then here's the second one. This is going to be drawing figures in general. Now, I don't know why we call it drawing figures when we could just say drawing people, but that's just how it is. So, drawing figures is all about proportions and posing. Period. What's it called? I really proportions is iffy, really, kind of, because again, story could change that all the time. You could have a story where someone's arm is messed up or something like that, and then the proportions is off. But just the generic proportions for a person, I'm about to give it to you right now. Also, posing is important because posing is like the verifier of your proportions. Is like when you put in a different pose, can you keep those same proportions? Can you make sure that you keep them good? So essentially, what's it called? So right here, the picture right here, um halfway for the wrists, halfway for the knees, the rib cage meets the elbows. The elbows meet the rib cage wherever you put the rib cage, and then the wrists meet the waist, which is halfway also. So once you got those proportions down, you want to make sure to use the snowman method that I created. I talk about it a lot because that's what really got my figures up to speed and that's how I started drawing my figures better. What's it called? But the snowman method is simply circles and cylinders, using spheres, three main spheres for the head, the torso, and the waist, and then using cylinders to draw the rest of the limbs. I will use circles also for like joints, just to because they're round and they make sense to use them. And then if when you're posing a character, I would use lines. It makes it a little bit easier to pose, so you don't have to think about like 3D figures, but draw the cylinders and draw those spheres on top of those lines. So what's it called? Once you have posed your character however you want to pose it, using the snowman method, um just remember this is actually the same for both when you're drawing from reference and when you're drawing from imagination. You can use this method both ways. um Really, imagination is the same. Drawing from imagination is the exact same thing as drawing from reference. The only difference is your reference is the image in your brain instead of a physical image in front of you. You understand? um but once you're done with all of that, that's your base right there, and all you have to do is draw the details on top. Draw basic shapes for the details the same way you did for the human, and then draw the actual details on top. And that's pretty much figure drawing. I'll do another video on detail drawing, but details get a little bit tricky because really details of a drawing is your own art style. That's where you really define and put extra time in and make it look like, oh, this person did it, Sharif drew it, or whoever drew it. You understand what I'm saying? It's really about your own art style, but I'll do another video on details.